Welcome back to Padang City in Sumatra on Planet Doug. I'm heading out for a walk right now. My hotel is right behind me, and yeah, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. The sun is still out, so I'm hoping it will stay out for a little while, though I still see the sky is already filling with dark rain clouds. We'll see how things work out. My guest house, their hostel, the Rumah Kita, has got a really nice location as it turns out. It's right beside, well, relatively right beside the Al Hakim Mosque, which is one of the major landmarks now and tourist attractions of Padang. So I'm heading to the mosque right now just to take a look at it. It sits beautifully right on the ocean. I was reading about it this morning a little bit, and it turns out it doesn't really have much of a history. It was built in 2016, 2017. I mean, I think it opened in 2017. So it's a very new mosque. And according to the Wikipedia entry, as translated by Google Translate, they call it a Taj Mahal style mosque. And I guess that refers to its overall look, you know, the architecture of it. And yeah, I saw it yesterday for a couple of times. I rode by on my scooter. And I have a vague memory of it looking a little bit Taj Mahal-ish. I have to go, thank you. It's actually kind of hard to go anywhere in Indonesia because when you go by these little neighborhood coffee shops, everyone wants you to stop for tea or coffee. And I'd love to do it, but I have places to go, so I kind of apologize and I make little walking gestures like, well, I'm going somewhere, you know, I have to go. So yeah, it's a new mosque. And I guess that part of the waterfront used to be a typical waterfront area for Padang. A lot of food stalls and children's rides and playgrounds and, you know, stuff like that. And then someone had the idea to build a mosque there, and somehow they got funding, and next thing you know, beautiful white mosque. So what I want to do actually is walk from the mosque along the coast, because just to my left along the coast, there's an area with a couple of rivers, and those rivers are where all the boats are situated. So if you're going to go out to the Mentawai Islands for surfing or beach holiday, I think that's where you would go. They have like a fast ferry that goes out to the islands, and then all kinds of private boats as well. And this is where Google Maps satellite view really came into its own again, because what I like to do is turn on satellite view and then just on my laptop or phone or whatever, just roam around the city, just sort of looking at the physical features. Because if you look at Google Maps with just the lines, you know, the normal map view, the rivers don't look anything special. But as soon as you turn on satellite view, you suddenly see all the boats and all the docks, and then all the interesting, hello, how are you? You're on that video? Yeah. It's a 360. So, yeah, as soon as I saw that area from satellite view, then I thought, oh, okay, that looks like a good place to walk around. So that's where I'm heading. Hey, hello. I'm not going to do any kind of a deep dive into the mosque. Like, I won't try to go inside or get a tour or anything like that. I just want to see it with the ocean, you know, get a little bit of video of this beautiful spot. And then, as I said, walk from there along the ocean until I get to the rivers. And then once I get to the rivers, we'll see what happens. I spotted a couple of interesting cafes along the way. There's a bridge that goes across one of the rivers, which Google Maps describes as a quaint bridge, which gives nice views of the river. And I was chatting with Daryl from Wander Eats this morning, and he was looking at Google Maps on his equipment, on his gear, and then he was finding little places that I could check out. He knows I love bakso, so he sent me a link to a bakso restaurant, and then he sent me a link to a really nice cafe. So I might get my morning coffee down by the riverside. So that's the plan. I'm just coming up on the coast road right now, and there's the Al Hakim Mosque ahead of me. And yeah, I mean, I didn't look at a photo of the Taj Mahal recently, but if you told me it was modeled after the Taj Mahal, I'll buy it. It definitely is reminiscent of the Taj Mahal. Yeah, I'm not really dressed for a mosque either, because I'm wearing shorts. But as I said, I don't plan to go onto the mosque grounds anyway. Well, I might go onto the grounds a little bit. But we'll see. I'll just walk around the edges here and then see if I can get near the ocean to get a view of the mosque. Yeah, so there's the front of it there, Masjid Al Hakim. And if I were wearing long pants, maybe I would walk up there, but I'm not suitably dressed for the mosque. So just walk around the outside. And for those keeping score on the technical side, I'm shooting this video with my Insta360 X3 camera. So it's a 360 camera. I don't have any particular reason for using this camera except that just something different. I've been using my GoPros a lot lately, and the GoPro, you have to point it everywhere. You're constantly aiming the camera, and with the 360 camera, once you get used to it, it seems to come with a lot of freedom, because you can just walk around holding the camera in front of you, but you don't have to point it in any particular direction. Well, and you can do things like this, I guess. Just put it over there. So there's the mosque. And one thing I've noticed in terms of geography, that hill over there that says Padang on it, there's like a hill there and then another one a little bit more inland. And that seems to be, that might even be an island. Is that an island? Actually, I don't even know. I was sort of hoping I could get onto the grounds here, but yeah, this whole area is under construction. I can put my camera through the gate, and there you can see the mosque where it sits on the water with that. It's either an island or a peninsula out there. Yeah, very beautiful spot. I often wonder about the economics of places like this, where I don't know how much it cost to build, but the bill would have been pretty hefty. You know, it's an expensive thing to build. And of course, they wanted to make this mosque as, you know, as part of Islam. It's a place of worship for the local people, but it also serves as a tourist attraction. And you do wonder if, like, how aware people are of that when they're doing the budgeting. Like, how much can we spend? Like, does the city contribute to the budget because the city knows that having a landmark like that can increase tourism by, you know, a certain percentage? So it ends up you know, in terms of the overall city budget paying for itself over time. Anyway, this is not the direction I wanted to go. I rode my scooter down here yesterday when I went to the immigration office. I'm going to be heading back in the other direction towards the rivers. But since I'm here, why not go take a look at the coast? And here the fence kind of ends. So this is the extent of the grounds for the Masjid Al-Hakim. I think there's a very famous Al-Hakim Mosque in Cairo. If you look up Al-Hakim Mosque, the first one you'll come across is the one in Cairo, I think. I don't know how popular these beaches are for swimming, but there's a whole bunch of beaches along here. Yeah, I mean, this wouldn't be this isn't particularly a swimming beach. Dark sand, a lot of garbage. But it's a very scenic, a Planet Doug kind of place. Yeah. Got some rocks here that we can walk out to the end of the rocky pier. I do get a little bit nervous around the ocean. I mean, I grew up in the water. I'm a bit of a fish, very comfortable in the water. But I've been places on the ocean where they warn you about the tide, rip tides, and the waves. And like, you look at a place like this and you think, oh, I could go swimming in there. That looks perfectly fine. But if you see a sign that says rip tides, you have to pay attention to it, because I don't know, oceans are tricky. There could be a rip tide here that you go in that water and then you discover you can't get out again, and it just sucks you out to sea. Look how deep that is. Like, when those waves hit, I mean, they hit hard. And then all that water pulling back. Wow. Look at that. So, you know, a small child going swimming in here would be in trouble very, very quickly. So, anyway, a long way of saying I'm not diving in there for a swim just now. Wow, look at that scenery. Shipwreck right on the coast beside the mosque, with that peninsula island over there. That is very dramatic. Huh. I wonder how long that ship has been there. Was it there when they built the mosque and they just never got around to trying to remove it? Or did it shipwreck there after the mosque was built? From my point of view, I would just leave it there. Just makes for a very scenic scene. Scenic scene, how's that for a mastery of English? Beautiful spot, very dramatic. The ocean, you know, when you've been away from the ocean for a long time, it's always quite something to find yourself standing here again. And this feels a little bit like a kind of a YouTube video in the making, like one of those fail videos. I was standing out there towards the end, and then I suddenly heard like thunder behind me, and a huge wave hit. So, yeah, I could easily be standing there. I was taking photographs of the mosque, and then a larger wave than normal could easily sneak up on you, hit these rocks, and drench you, send you flying. You see that on YouTube all the time. But yeah, you got to be careful around the ocean. And if these waves are any indication, yeah, the surfing waves out on the Mentawai Islands must be quite something else. But anyway, let us go to the river and look at all these boats that could take you out to those islands. Right now, even if I made plans to go, I couldn't go because I don't have my passport. Immigration has it, and I won't get it back for 7 days. So after that, I could go, but we'll see. Look at this. Tires. How do that many tires end up in the ocean? You hear a lot about the plastic crisis now. Plastic in the ocean. So it seems to be the environmental issue of the day that is getting all the attention. Everybody's talking about plastic now. But looking at this collection, yeah, there's a lot of plastic, but more rubber than plastic. Yeah, how do that many tires end up in the ocean? No idea. I've walked past the mosque, heading in this direction, and it turns out that large hill is part of a peninsula. So the peninsula goes around the river. It's not a hill. It's actually part of the land. And this appears to be, oh, okay, the river. I was just talking about how amazing it is to be near oceans, but rivers just as good. I've made this comment in the past that I'm not a fisherman in any way. I don't go fishing. It's not something I do. I don't even eat fish as a rule. But I just love being around fishing boats. There's something so romantic about them. Just look at that view. Oh, and on the other side too. This isn't the, it's not the main river. Oh, that's the main river back there, of course. This is like a, hello, kind of a small creek. So it's not very deep, but you've got some boats over here as well. Looks like the tide is coming in. You can see the water is flowing upstream pretty rapidly. The tide is on its way in, floating all of these boats. They were probably resting on the mud a few minutes ago, and now they're all being raised up off the bottom. So, and I think the, hello? Yeah, here's one of the, again, I don't know how many of them there are. Like if you wanted to go out to the Mentawai Islands, what your choices are. But this is one of the options, I guess, a fast ferry, Mentawai Fast. But can't really see any of the boats from here. Maybe I can get over to this fence, look over the fence, see what's going on. Oh yeah, I see the prow of a boat over there. That's probably the fast ferry. Can't really see it yet though. Yeah, I wonder what all the options are. I met some surfers on the flight here, and the surfers were getting on a boat, I think they said for 12 days of surfing. So they were going to be surfing for 12 days, always on the same boat. Hello. There's an opening here, goes down to the water. Look at the size of these boats. Those look like ocean-going vessels. And here on the right, okay, there's the fast ferry. To take you out to the islands. As I said, I don't know anything about how many ferries there are like that, or how often they go, or how long it takes, because I wasn't planning on going out there, so I don't really have any information. So consider this another Planet Doug reconnaissance trip. Look at all these boats. They are huge. And you have to assume that they're fishing boats, right? I'm not sure what else they could be doing, but amazing. I guess cargo as well. Looks like they're loading this boat up with some cargo, which would make sense, or unloading, I guess. Yeah, maybe they're actually cargo boats, not fishing boats. Hello. A lot of cars and trucks and other vehicles gathering here to unload, carry things away. Even furniture, it looks like. This is awesome. Yeah, the size of that thing. A lot of these tanks coming off the boat. Yeah, so I'm revising my opinion, because I don't see any nets or anything like that. They don't look like fishing boats. I just made that assumption, because I think what else could boats do here, but I think they're all cargo boats. Look at this sleek thing down there, like a speedboat. And perhaps that can take you out to the Mentawai Islands as well. Probably not. I think that's a real ocean trip to go out to the Mentawai Islands. You need something big for that. This one probably takes you to some closer places, a little bit of a tourism boat. Back behind me along this stretch of road, there's a whole bunch of simple, basic looking guest houses. Those would be nice places to stay if you wanted to be near the river and the boats heading out to Mentawai Islands. And here's a place, the Quayside Cafe and Eatery. That looks very nice, very modern. But of course, as with almost everything in my life, I think I'm here at the wrong time for cafe life. Doesn't look to be open. Even earlier, Daryl from Wander Eats, I mentioned that he sent me a link to the Bakso place. And he said something about, hey, nothing wrong with that. And I wrote back as well, one thing, according to Google Maps, it doesn't open till 4. And that, again, that's the Planet Doug effect. Anywhere I might want to go will be closed. But there are lots of places here. Look at this. This looks great. Wow. A little coffee shop there. And they have a grove of trees, which is really nice. I think I might have to pop in here. The bridge I want to cross is a little bit farther ahead, but I think I'm getting pretty hot and sweaty, and I'm just going to pop in here. I can't pass this place up. Maybe I can get a... actually, I don't know if there's a way in. Oh, I have to backtrack. Yeah, just for a minute. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. I just want to absorb the atmosphere. Grab a cup of coffee here. And this will also get me closer to the river. Get another look at the river. Salamat pagi.
Hello.
Hello.
Video?
Yeah, video.
Video.
Yeah, video. Selamat pagi. So, wow. Another very impressive set of boats. Sibonjaya. Oh, they're not pontoon boats. What do you call those? Hydrofoils? Yeah, they have that. Those would be fast. I wonder if they go out to the Mentawai Islands as well. Well, that was a very enjoyable coffee. I was going to sit by myself out in the grove of trees, but that's kind of a forlorn hope in a friendly place like Indonesia. All the men that were sitting in there, they insisted that I sit with them. And it turns out they all work for the Coast Guard. And one of the men was a bit better in English and a bit more confident than the others, so he was handling conversation with the bule. And I recorded all of the interaction, the whole conversation on this GoPro on my chest harness. But of course, in true GoPro form, the file wasn't saved, it's corrupted. So it did save the file, but now it tells me that it's corrupted and I can't view it. So anyway, the conversation was not all that exciting. They asked me all the usual questions about where I'm from, how old I am, whether or not I'm married, how many children I have, what my job is, and where I've been in Indonesia, things like that. So I've had that conversation a million times. But it's still kind of frustrating, that whole atmosphere. I wouldn't mind including just a few seconds of it in the video, but it's all gone. GoPro, behave yourself. Yeah, life with GoPro can be frustrating. It's funny how people shooting video for YouTube is such a known thing these days. These guys are very well aware of YouTube and YouTubers, and they were giving me all kinds of advice for my YouTube channel. It's just kind of interesting. They know a lot more about YouTube and Indonesia than I do. Their main advice was, I have to learn the Indonesian language, and if I do that, I will be, and they kept naming a whole bunch of YouTubers that I'm not aware of. This YouTuber speaks Indonesian fluently, and he has millions and millions of subscribers, and this one speaks Indonesian, millions. And he says, you don't speak Indonesian, so you better learn if you want to make YouTube videos. So, next stop is the bridge. I want to walk across the bridge, perhaps walk along the river on the other side. I'm just getting near the bridge, the quaint bridge, as Google Maps calls it. Just smelled some fried food. Here in Indonesia, I think I have too much fried food in my diet because they sell so much of it, and it has such an attractive odor. Whenever I walk by one of those carts selling fried banana or fried anything, I just, ooh, smells good. And I can't help but have some. I often end up returning to my guest house room with a bag of fried goodies tucked away. So here we are, another view of the river, and there's the bridge. Man, not a lot of water in the river right now, very muddy. I wouldn't want to go down into that. One funny thing at the little cafe there, hanging out with the Coast Guard guys, they could see as soon as I sat down, I mean, I wanted to sit outside where there was a breeze, but they insisted I sit with them, and it was much, much hotter where they were. And they could see I was uncomfortable, I was sweating, you know, getting really hot. And the woman who runs the place, she wanted the men to turn on the fan. There was like a small plastic fan up on the top of this little enclosure. And she was asking the men to do it, and the men would stand up, but they couldn't reach. Like, none of them could reach the fan switch. But of course, I was significantly taller, so I said, well, I think I can reach it. So I just stood up, and I got a round of applause for being tall enough to turn on the fan. That was the highlight of my visit with those guys. That was pretty funny. They are funny conversations, though. As I said, I have that same conversation so many times, and it sort of puts you on the defensive to an extent, because the questions are so direct and so personal, and you end up feeling like you have to apologize and explain yourself, particularly this idea of not being married and not having any children, not having a house, not having a car. This is a very disturbing set of facts for them. And yeah, they really need this explained to them, how in the world this can happen to a human being. So I end up walking away from those conversations thinking, boy, I'm really an odd duck, aren't I? I don't fit in. Yeah, but yeah, kind of puts you on the defensive. As I said, it's kind of funny. You have to justify your life in 5 minutes. And then I often end up walking away feeling like I failed in my justification and all my life choices have been wrong. Oh, they did mention the surfing, because again, there my life choices are wrong as well. They just assumed, foreigner here, I must be getting on one of the charter boats, like those guys from Australia. They were on the boat for 12 days. They just assumed I was doing that, and I said, well, I had to tell them I don't surf, and I'm not really that interested. But of course, it's not really that I'm not interested, it's more that it's just too expensive. And I asked them, well, how much does it cost? I was asking them about the boats out there. Where do the boats go? How much does it cost? And they said, well, those are charter boats, and for a 10-day surfing charter, it costs about $1,000 US. And they were telling me how cheap this was. You say, oh, so cheap. So it's like $100 US per day for these surfing charters. And again, they were, as I said, telling me how incredibly cheap this was. And I'm thinking, that doesn't sound so cheap to me. So again, my life choices were coming into question. Okay, this bridge, is it a pedestrian bridge? There were no stairs or anything like that. So I'm wondering now, like, is it even possible to walk across it? I would think so. Google Maps calls it quaint. And they suggested it's a good place to get a view of the river. So, yeah, let's see what happens here. So far it looks okay. No one is yelling at me so far that I can't do this, so. And there seems to be a little bit of a sidewalk on both sides. So let's walk across the bridge. Whew, the sun is beating down. All right, I can see the quaint part of this bridge now. It's a lot more ornate than I expected. It'd be nice if they had a set of stairs, like going from that sidewalk down by the river, and you could just climb up here. but you have to walk all the way to the end of the ramp for traffic and then turn the corner there. Yeah, very nice. Look at the setting. It's exactly what I was hoping for in terms of atmosphere and scenery. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Well, gorgeous with a strong helping of mud and garbage, of course, but quite interesting nonetheless. And on the other side too, I'll just walk part way across the bridge here, and then I'll walk over to the other side, get some clear shots from over there as well. I was going to say, it might not be so easy to get across the bridge, but I see a place over here where the railing is gone. There we are. So yeah, here's the other side of the river. A lot of boats. I need my own tiny boat just to go up the river and back again. And as always, I think evening would be the best time to come here. All the food stalls would be open, all the riverside restaurants, things like that. But now, midday, everything seems to be largely closed. I've been talking a lot about steep roads lately, either on a bicycle or the scooter. But check out those hills. The houses on that hillside, those roads, man, those would be steep. You need a lot of power in your legs or in any kind of engine to get up there. What kind of a life that? Imagine what that life would be like every day, going up and down that hill. Same thing on this side. To come down the bridge, you have to follow the road the whole way. Hello. There's no stairs or anything for pedestrians to take you straight down to the river. So you've got to go all the way around. But this is a very quaint neighborhood. All these little shops here. I've mentioned this before about West Sumatra. They have a state law prohibiting the big chain stores. So any large convenience store chain like Indomaret or Family Mart, I think they're called, or they're not allowed to operate here. So it just feels like there's more of these small family-run neighborhood shops, like they haven't been put out of business by the big chains, which again, it's kind of a funny thing though. I mean, you're supposed to say that that's a good thing, and yet whenever I go shopping for a cold drink or something, I always wish there was an Indomaret. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Selamat pagi. It's a video. Yeah, yesterday in my neighborhood, I wanted to do a bit of shopping, and I went for a walk around several blocks. I just kept walking and walking and walking until I found the most modern supermarket I could find. You know, it wasn't like a 7-Eleven, but it was like the closest thing I could find to a 7-Eleven. Modern, clean, well-stocked shelves, cash register, shows you the amount you have to pay, you get a receipt. So even though from a video point of view or from a cinematic or atmospheric point of view, these neighborhood shops are really great. Yet when I go shopping, myself personally, I always wish I could find a modern supermarket or modern convenience store. So there's a reason things like 7-Elevens are so popular. So I'm down at the river on this side. As you can see, all these restaurants are closed. They probably open up in the late afternoon. And there's the bridge. Down at the riverside, got a man over there on my left, up to his knees in the water, and he's giving his boat a good paint job, touching it up. Yeah, you can see just how shallow the water is.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Looks like he's got supplies for heading out on the boat today. Wow, look at the back of that boat, all the gas cans. That would have to all be fuel for the boat. Maybe they have a really long journey. Getting all this food on board too. Well, I think this is as far as I'm going to go in this direction today. There's a mosque here. I spotted it from the bridge. And there's a pier here. I'm just going to walk out to the end of the pier to get a look around. And then I'm going to cross the bridge back over to the other side. There's a kind of a modern coffee shop over there that I picked out where I might, I hope to get a cold coffee. But, yeah, because over there in front of me is the peninsula, the hill. I think there's probably a nice park up there. But I'll come back here on my scooter someday. That's just a bit far to go today on foot. You have to remember when you do one of these walks that whatever you've walked is only halfway, because when you're done walking, then you have to turn around and walk all the way back. So, and in this heat, it's hot. Yeah, if I want to head out to that peninsula, I can do it by scooter, I think. Yeah, this pier is surprisingly stable for what looks like a pretty wobbly structure. It's not really moving underneath me at all. Wood feels pretty solid too. One interesting thing about the 360 camera that I'm using is that it has haptic feedback, so that when you hit the record button, it gives a little vibration, and the vibration goes all the way through the selfie stick, so you can actually feel it when it starts recording. And when you hit stop record, it also gives you a little vibration to tell you that it's saving the file. So it's kind of nice. It's a nice feature. Gives you some confidence that it's working. A little bit of a fish market here. You can always tell by the smell. It's far from the busiest fish market I've ever seen, but nice little spot. Kopi susu they have, yeah. Kopi susu. Oh. 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 Okay. Thank you. Oh. Selamat pagi.
Yep. Pagi.
Pagi. Oh. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Hot. And walking. Hot. Yeah.
You like smoking?
I don't smoke. No. In Canada, not many people smoke today.
Di Kanada tidak banyak orang yang merokok hari ini.
Yeah, not many people. So.
No
And in Canada, cigarettes are very, very expensive.
Dan di Kanada rokok sangat mahal.
Yeah, it's expensive. How much does the coffee cost here?
Berapa harga kopi di sini?
I drink coffee.
Kopi susu berapa di?
Is that 5,000?
RM5,000.
So 5,000, I know.
Canada?
Yeah,
How much?
in Canada, a good cup of coffee costs 45,000 rupiah. See, like this.
Di Kanada, secangkir kopi yang enak harganya Rp45.000.
Yeah, like Starbucks, like 45,000.
Jauh beda 40.
Hello, mister.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good, good.
Good.
So,
Where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
Canada?
Yeah,
How long you here?
2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
Indonesian on Padang?
Oh, 2 months in Sumatra.
Sumatra.
Yeah, I went to Bukit Tinggi.
Yeah?
I was there for maybe 1 month, and now my visa expired,
Yeah?
so I come to Padang to go to immigration
Yeah?
and extend my visa 1 more month. So, yeah, 60 days total. Yeah. Douglas. Ah. So, can I pay her now?
Dia ambil langsung dia.
Berapa harganya?
Can you speak Indonesian?
No.
Berapa dia?
5,000? Okay. Terima kasih. So Siddiqui. Yes, yeah. I know. But many people in Indonesia speak English, and I can use Google Translate.
Ini pakai translate ini ya?
Yeah, it's like,
Tetapi banyak orang di Indonesia berbicara bahasa Inggris.
Eh.
Dan saya bisa menggunakan Google Translate.
yeah.
Banyak Indonesia, Inggris, Kanada.
Yeah.
So this is a kopi susu.
Coffee susu.
So what are your jobs? Do you work on the boats on the river?
Here, captain.
Captain?
Yeah, in the boat.
Okay.
Here, crew.
Crew?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of boat? What does it do?
What?
What kind of boat? Fishing boat or
Fishing boat.
Fishing boat.
Yeah.
Okay. I think many boats go to Mentawai.
Yeah, Mentawai.
Oh yeah.
Is it boss?
He's the boss?
Boss, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
No. Hello. Selamat pagi.
Do you like fishing?
Oh no, I don't. No.
Surfing?
Not surfing. No. I go swimming,
Swimming.
but I never went surfing before. Yeah.
Ini suku berenang lah. Berenang, swimming, berenang.
Parenang?
Yeah, Indonesian speak berenang.
Ah, okay. Let's see. Swimming. Renang?
Yeah,
Renang.
berenang.
I love to swim, but I never went surfing. You know.
Saya suka berenang, tapi saya tidak pernah pergi berselancar.
So surfing,
Yeah.
never. No.
Yo. Dari mana awal lah?
Canada.
What you job in Canada?
I don't work in Canada. I work in Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah, my job is English editor
Oh.
and writer. So books and magazines. Yeah.
Mister,
Mm-hmm.
in Canada, smoking or Marlboro? No.
Well, not so popular. Marlboro a little bit, yeah.
How much Marlboro?
I don't know. Yeah.
You know.
I don't smoke, no. But I know it's very expensive. Yeah, very expensive.
Sangat mahal.
I mean,
Sangat mahal.
I think Google will know.
Google.
Yeah, I think
Rokok nak tahunya aku.
Tahu aku.
Canada.
Maybe 100,000 rupees.
Well, let's see. I can find out in a minute.
Because my friend mother in America, Syria. One,
Okay.
One box, $50.
Oh yeah? Huh.
Okay.
Looks like in Canada about $15?
$15.
$15, so.
No, 50.
Yeah, but in Canada,
Canada?
$15.
$15.
Oops. Oh, 15. So rupiah, 170,000. Yeah, rupiah there. Yeah, one pack. In Indonesia, berapa harganya?
Indonesia 30,000.
40,000.
40,000.
Okay. So Canada, 4 times more,
Yeah.
170,000.
Hampir kali lipat.
I think that coffee was a little bit more successful than the other one. As I said, my first coffee, the entire video was lost by the GoPro. But this time, I was just holding the 360 camera in my hand, and I just let it keep recording. I wasn't really putting it anywhere special, but of course, when I got up to leave finally, and as I started walking away, I noticed that the camera wasn't operating anymore because in the middle, the battery died. So I have no idea how much or if any of our conversation was recorded on video. I don't know when the battery died. I didn't notice. Yeah, you think recording YouTube video is an easy thing. You just hit record and go for a walk. That doesn't include the dozens of technological hurdles you encounter along the way. At least I do. Constant failures on my part in terms of the gear. So I'm just on my way back to the bridge. I'm going to walk over to the other side, go up the river a little bit farther, and perhaps duck inside one more, like a modern cafe, perhaps. We'll see if there's anything there. Oh yeah, probably the most interesting part of our conversation surrounded money, because as always happens, they started asking me questions about money in general, how much things cost, and I often struggle with those because they want to know how much things cost in Canada, and I don't really know. I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. Like they asked me how much was a cup of coffee in Canada. I'm like, I don't really know, but I'm estimating that, you go to Starbucks in Canada, it's going to be $3, $4, $5 for a cup of coffee. And of course, once you translate that into Indonesian rupiah, it starts to sound like a lot of money for a cup of coffee, because the coffee that I had there, actually there's the spot where I was sitting, right down there. I think that's where I was sitting. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right there. that kopi susu that I had was 5,000 rupiah, which is about 33 cents US. So if a coffee costs $4 or $5, you know, it's 10 or 15 times more expensive. So, but of course, you can't really do a comparison across currencies like that. But it does seem like a lot of money. And they're always very curious about cigarettes. And I didn't even know. So they asked me, how much do cigarettes cost in Canada, a pack? And so I really have no idea. So I looked it up on Google. And according to Google, a pack of cigarettes in Canada in Canadian dollars is somewhere around $14 or $15, probably plus tax, you know, depending on the province. And that surprised even me. I keep telling people that, like, everybody asks me if I smoke. Like, do you smoke? They offer me a cigarette, you know, do you smoke? And I always say I don't. And I always end up saying, well, yeah, in Canada, few people smoke these days, partially because it's so expensive. But I honestly had no idea, really. So that number of $15 surprised even me. Like, wow, it really is expensive in Canada to smoke. And since they were asking me so many questions, I thought it'd be okay to ask them one. And I asked this one guy who spoke a better English, like, how much money does a person make in Indonesia? You know, sort of thinking of these guys in particular. They all work on fishing boats. And they said the minimum wage is 3 million rupiah per month. And that's about $200 US per month. And yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of money, especially when I fold in, like, they were telling me a pack of cigarettes here is like 40,000 rupiah. And if they have a pack a day, I mean, what is that? Hello? 10 packs would be, yeah, 400,000 times 3. Yeah, it's 1.2 million. Hello? That's 1.2 million rupiah just in cigarettes out of a salary of 3 million. So 1/3 of their income would go towards cigarettes.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? But then he was saying that like, that's for a single man, you know, a young guy on his own. He could survive on 3 million a month. But he said if they have family and children, they need at least 6 million, 5 or 6 million per month. And then he said for like a manager in a company, it'd be more like 10 to 15 million per month. But the minimum is 3 million. So I got one of my, I already knew that from previous asking people and looking into it, but I always forget the numbers. And it always seems to me that the local economy doesn't make a whole lot of sense. People tell me how much they make, like $200 a month, and I'm thinking, how in the world can you afford to, you know, maintain that scooter you're driving and the nice smartphone you're using and the cigarettes you're smoking? Like 3 million isn't enough. Hello. Selamat pagi. Hello. How are you?
I'm fine.
That's good. Well, I'm getting close to the area with the fancy cafes and restaurants. Here's one of them, Dendeng SUMATRA, but it is closed. And here's quite a large place. What is this? Koji Cafe and Resto. Arau Cafe and Resto. Looks closed as well, so it's hard to tell from here. Certainly doesn't look open. So I did pass a number of very nice looking coffee shops over there. But I've already had so much coffee in the little places where I was chatting with the local men that I just don't feel like coffee anymore. And yeah, I've been getting really, really hot. And I happened to pass this convenience store, kind of like a 7-Eleven, but with seating. So instead of coffee, I just picked up some milk. That's what my body was craving more than coffee. That's the place where I had my milk. Fares 3 Coffee, a convenience store on the main floor, and then a coffee shop and restaurant up at the top. I had no idea it was so fancy. I thought it was just like a 7-Eleven kind of place. But it was really nice. And just going to continue down the river a little bit farther. It's about time to turn around, head back for lunch, but thought I'd walk along a little bit. Look, check out that boat. Gorgeous. Beautiful boats all around. And along the shore here, I noticed some kind of vending machines or something. Like here's one right here that seems to be out of commission. I have no idea what it does. At first, from a distance, I thought it was a water dispenser. But then I saw some signs on them that indicated, or like it doesn't seem to put out water, so I don't know what it's for. I'll have to find one that's working and figure this out. And this might be the end of the commercial waterfront area, sort of the tourist area. Seems to be petering off a little bit, but just gonna walk to the end of these buildings, see what's here, and then turn around. Some abandoned buildings here. Hello. Ah, okay. I think I have to walk down this side street for a minute. Hello. I just spotted a temple, Buddhist temple compound. And I definitely have the feeling like I'm in old Padang now. This is like old traditional Padang. But this Buddhist temple looks quite new, well maintained. A lot of graffiti artwork along here. Yeah, I just want to go to the corner here and see what these streets look like. As I said, it really feels like I'm in the old part of town. So yeah, seems to be, not surprisingly, a Chinese neighborhood. Oh yeah, there's that temple there. And it looks like there's a second one just up the road here. And a lot of Chinese shops. Yeah. Wow. So this is a real surprise. Rumah Duka HB. HBT. I have no idea what this could be other than... Oh, it's a restaurant. Has to be a restaurant, right? But man, look at the entrance to that place. HBT since 1876. Wow, looks like I've stumbled into Chinatown, really. I sort of feel like I'm in Georgetown in Padang, Malaysia, all of a sudden. Huh. I don't really know what this place is. Has tables and chairs. Perhaps it's more like a banquet hall than like a restaurant for individuals. I'm not sure. But all kinds of benches, so probably has aspects of a community center, a clan house, things like that, all mixed together. Yeah, if you go around the corner here, as you can see, more and more of the buildings have a facade, very Chinese architecture and style. Shop houses, just like on Penang. Interesting. And this road should take me in the direction of the river again, the exit from this neighborhood. All kinds of interesting architecture, little shops here.
Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Right.
Old Town, definitely Old Town. Look at this mosque here, freshly painted, but I'm guessing that it's quite an old structure. Masjid Muhammadan. Okay. Hello. Hello, how are you?
Where do you go?
Just walking around here.
Australia, Jerman, Inggris, Belanda?
Canada.
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 Ottawa.
Yeah. Anyway, nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. What a fascinating neighborhood. Behind me on the right, there is another Buddhist, kind of a temple, but neighborhood community center. They call it a rumah, but it's clearly a Buddhist structure of some kind. And not surprisingly, railroad tracks. Check this out. I was going to turn right here because that's heading back in the direction of my home. I've gone quite far enough for one morning, giving my legs workout, and I'm giving my skin solid exposure to the sun, that's for sure. It is hot out here today. But I just spotted the railroad tracks, and this freshly painted fence made me wonder if there's a train station over here. Well, yeah, the railroad tracks look new. They look well maintained. They've got like a nice gravel on the bed where the tracks are laid down. And yeah, look at that. Pretty sure this is a train station. Bit of a curve on the road here. Dangerous, fast-moving traffic, but let's walk ahead here and get a look at the building. So what's it called? The, oh yeah, Station Pulau Ai, something like that. So yeah, some kind of a, yeah, train station. There's a bit of a transportation map showing that you can get ojek and taxis and from the station Pulau Ai. Look at that. That ought to be quite something, as I talked about the other day in a different video, if they ever manage to get the trains running all the way to Bukit Tinggi and Payakumbuh. As far as I understand it, in the old days, the trains reached as far as Bukit Tinggi and Payakumbuh. Yeah. But they don't anymore. But I think they have plans to rebuild it, which makes sense. I have no idea how many train stations there are in Padang. So this one, I doubt it would be the central train station for Padang. There's probably another one. Hello. Yeah, looking over the fence there, you can see the platform. Yeah, very new, very modern train station. I don't see any people waiting for a train, but if I raise the camera up higher, you can probably see the train tracks and the fresh gravel beds. And from here, as I said, yeah, I'm going to turn around, walk back along the river, start working my way back towards where I started from. Yeah, that's what I saw, the gravel beds for the railroad tracks. Yeah, looks in good condition. So it's clearly an operational section of the railroad. Yeah, check all this out. Very interesting old buildings. Neighborhood shops. Facial and makeup studio and a Renov fashion store. Small metal worker shop. Right alongside railroad tracks, you always find very interesting neighborhoods. On my left, all these houses, these dwellings, you're seeing one side of it, but they would have a backside opening right onto the railroad tracks. So if you're riding in the train, it's these houses that you'd be looking at as you rode along. But from the other side. Oh, all right. Here's a surprise. Gotta check this out. Hello, how are you? Selamat pagi. Scooter bridge. Pedestrian and scooters, motorcycle bridge. No cars, obviously, but it looks like it was built for motorcycles. Wow. Look at that. Huh. What an amazing neighborhood this is. Yeah, I wonder how far you could go on the river if you got someone to take you by boat. I'll have to look on Google Maps, see how far this river would be navigable by a small boat. And looking in the other direction. Oh yeah, that's back where I came from. You can just make out the main bridge for cars. You can tell by the yellow and red paint job. And all these houses being built up onto the hillside there. Very interesting, all these boats. Oh, look at that, there's another bridge over there. So it makes sense. I'm just gonna walk along the river and then go back across where that small bridge is, another motorcycle bridge. Check out that place across the river. Joya Jiwa? Joy Jiwa. Beautiful restaurant. That would be worth checking out, and it seems to be open, so what do you say I end my morning's adventures there? At the very least, I should be able to get a cold drink, sit out there on that balcony. Wow. What a setting. I see a guy up there with a huge camera. It's the kind of place, yeah, you definitely want a camera. So let's, I don't know if I'll end my morning's adventures there, but at least I think I'll head across, check it out. Look at this bridge. That is so cool. Much smaller scale than the one I just went across. Very interesting. All right, let's head across the small bridge. I think it'd be very popular. Just enough room for one scooter and one Canadian. Wow. Look at that boat. I always think about the history of these things, like how long that boat has been on the water, the things it has done. And yeah, once a boat reaches that stage in its life, you know, what do you do with it? Is it worth even bringing something like that back to life? How much would it cost to restore it? And yeah, what a view down the river. Amazing. Hello, how are you? Okay. Hey.
Hello. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Running across a couple of groups of foreigners there, and the surfing vibes are very powerful. Yeah, these are surfing foreigners come to Padang. And oh, look at that. Okay. Huh. There was a balcony And it's behind this shop right here. And bat and arrow. And they have a whole bunch of surfboards in the window. So I wonder what the story is with this part of Padang. I mean, is it known as a heritage site? The more I walk around here, the more it feels like it. There's old Padang, you know, like this structure right here. Feels like it's being preserved in some fashion. And then right beside it is this place. What I saw from across the river. Look at that. Yeah. I hear some music from inside, so I don't know how much video I'll be able to shoot, but I'll keep the camera running anyway. And even if I can't use the audio, I can get some video of the inside. It looks like a very, despite being so fancy, it looks very friendly. I mean, it looks extremely fancy and expensive, but then look at this sign right here. You know, buy one, get one free for a special discount on big orders. You know, it just sort of looks like a friendly drinks place. Around 19, Jilid 1111. Around 19, collaborative space. Well, what a discovery. Wow. What have I stumbled across? So let's head upstairs, see what it looks like up here. Look at this. Just in time for the call to prayer from the mosque across the river. The music stopped for a minute so I can show some more of the interior of this place. Look at all the seating up here. Beautiful wide open spaces. And there's a photo shoot going on, taking advantage of the environment. But yeah, you can see what the interior of this place looks like. There was nobody down at the counters when I tried to place an order, which is not surprising. That always seems to happen to me, but I'm going to try again. I'll go down there and see if I can order a bubble milk tea. That seems to be their specialty here. I found a place to place my order. There was like a drinks area here on the left, but it doesn't seem to be operational. They can make all those drinks, but you order them over there on the right. And you can get all kinds of food as well. And their specialty seems to be a kind of toast. So I ordered a double cheese toast hamburg. I don't know what it is. Smells great though. So I'm gonna have that and bubble milk tea to start. We'll see if I order anything else. Well, my order has arrived. So I ordered like classic bubble milk tea, which is here. I'm sure it tastes fine. And then I ordered some of their specialty jiwa toast. Feels hefty, so it comes in a nice box like that. So interesting, yeah, interesting presentation. So let's dive into that. Ooh, well, I don't know why I was shaking it. Okay, so the toast, yeah, is in a little box like that, and you can kind of, yeah, it's like a grilled toast, grilled cheese sandwich. It's like a hamburger, yeah, it even has a hamburger patty in there. This was, I think, 38,000 rupiah, so $2.50, I guess, US, something like that. And then the bubble milk tea, I think, was 15,000, about $1. Buttery. Very, very buttery. I haven't tasted anything like this cheesy and this buttery in a very long time. Nice change from nasi goreng and mee goreng and mee ayam bakso. That is a flavor sensation. Oh. There's a whole bunch of egg in that sandwich too, but the egg fell out and stayed behind in the box, so make sure you look inside the box so you don't leave anything behind. No, it's nice. They didn't skimp on the ingredients like the cheese and the egg and everything, so you're kind of, yeah, I think you're getting your money's worth. And with the view, wow. Can't beat the view, of course. Pretty hot up here, though. I spent a couple of minutes trying to find a seat where there was a breeze going through, but it's kind of hard to find. I did my best, but yeah, it's pretty hot up here. So I think, as with everything else in Indonesia, it's designed for a late afternoon, evening crowd, more than middle of the day crowd. So this is not the best time to come here. But yeah, very, very nice. So I think that is about it for this morning's small adventures. I left from the Orao 19, I think it's called, that really fancy coffee shop where I just had my bubble milk tea and toast. This is the street that heads into Chinatown, old Chinatown, with all the beautiful temples there. And right here is the Bat and Arrow, kind of a surf shop, and looks like a secret. Like you have to be a surfer to even know it exists. It's like a beer garden and hostel, like guest house, but for surfers. Yeah, look at that style. Painted black. And I'm here because I just walked down the street and I went back to that Mears coffee shop and convenience store just to buy something else cold to drink. I didn't take any video of it. I was there just to get hydrated. And here's this, yeah, it's really interesting ruin. It looks like it's been preserved to look like this. Like, I don't know what, a society of something of importance incorporated in Switzerland. So it's almost as if this building was preserved. And maybe they're going to rebuild it. But yeah, look at the space in here. Really quite interesting. There's two huge columns I guess used to be holding up the roof. Yeah, there's the front wall. Again, I don't know what they're doing with this space, but as I said, this really feels like a heritage site, like this whole district of Padang. There's a lot of history here. And it feels like there's probably a lot of efforts being made to preserve it. And here is this place again, around 19. Highly recommended. Planet Doug seal of approval for this place, definitely. It's an amazing combination of like modern comfort combined with that gorgeous traditional river, all the boat life on the river. Really cool place. I actually walked quite a long distance this morning, but the way the roads work out, I'm actually not that far away from my guest house. I just have to walk down, I think, this street. Man, what are those birds? Loud. But I just have to go down this for about half a kilometer, and it takes me back to my hostel. That's kind of cool. This whole area looks restored as well. Definitely a Chinese look to it. The gateway up ahead. That's cool. Another very cool street. Very traditional shop houses. Wow. Very interesting market area, and here on the left you can see the traditional Minangkabau roof lines making an appearance. Just in case you forgot where you were. Yeah, I assume this street in this neighborhood is well known in Padang.
No.
Hello. Hello. How are you? But I wonder what it's called locally. My last battery on my 360 camera died, so I'm going to finish up this video with my chest-mounted GoPro.
cerita kami banyak.
And yeah, I just wanted to say that today's small adventure has completely changed my impressions of Padang. When I arrived here after the horrible rainstorm, and all I saw was busy, crazy streets and traffic, I didn't have a great feeling about the town when I landed here. But today has turned everything around for me. Just seeing everything along the river and this old district, which is actually just half a kilometer away from my guest house. I suddenly have a very different impression of Padang. Seems like an interesting place to visit, as long as you take the time to go walking around and explore a little bit. So I think my street is right up ahead. My hostel is right around the corner. So I'm going to wind down now with this little garbage motorcycle going by. I'm going to shut down the video, duck inside. I need a shower. I've been sweating a lot on this walk. And I'll end the video here, and I'll see you in the next one.